What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the High Talk Podcast. I'm your host, DeLorean Guest. Thanks for tuning back in and showing us some love and support. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the page. We really appreciate the support. 100%. I'm going to say that 1,000 times. Also, today we are here with the one and only 115J in the building.
What
Awesome.
up,
How
what
you
up, what up?
feeling?
Good, good.
Feeling pretty good.
Thank you for
Nice
having
to
me.
officially meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Been doing my research and the music has been amazing, so y'all should definitely check him out. All right, so for those who don't know, 1115J, is that how you rather people say it?
That's how I
115J?
say it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Do you
yeah.
go by J for short or?
Yeah. People call me Jay for sure.
All right, all right. So let's just dive straight into it. Let's get into it. So where did the name come from? Or how did you come up with the name or
How am I allowed to be like fully transparent? Because it is.
as transparent as you want to? Absolutely.
All
Hell
right,
yeah.
yeah. So I used to dabble a little bit with like psychedelics back in the day.
Okay.
um,
I just actually started with mushrooms, but I'm microdosing, and I'm doing tea. So
yeah,
it's been
mushrooms are
journey.
fire. Mushrooms I fully recommend, but at the time I was doing acid, which is cool. You feel me? I don't knock anybody doing it, but like when I was doing it, this honestly plays into why I wear flip flops all the time too. I used to always like just trip and just take my shoes off and just walk barefoot like on grass or just walk around.
Are you from the country or your family?
Yeah, I grew up. Yeah, my family's Dominican, so like you feel me. There's a lot of nature over there, but yeah, like the high school I went to out here and middle school is out in the middle of nowhere, like in the
Got you.
country. So
Uh-huh.
that's just kind of what I'm used to. So I used to do that a lot, and there was one day specifically I took some acid with some homies and we were sitting in the car in the crib somewhere and we were just all I don't know how much you know about it, but like some people, at least me personally, like get like hot flashes when I trip. So like I
don't
walked in
think I
here and I
have
was
just
sweating.
yet. Mhm.
If I take some acid or just like trip on shrooms, I'll be super hot, sweaty, and then cold like a couple minutes later. It'll just keep going the whole time.
Okay, so it's like a roller coaster.
Yeah, a roller coaster of emotions and a
Okay.
roller coaster of body heat. But yeah, so we were sitting in there and it was hot as hell. And I swear to God, we just looked at each other like, man, it's hot, it's hot. We were like, yeah, it's like 115 degrees in here. And we both said it like, whoa. So I swear, that was like the first time I seen it. And then after that, and this is when I started making music too. I had just built a studio in my homie's garage.
Okay.
So, boom, we were dabbling in there making music and I start seeing this number like all the time. Like I'll get some change back, it'll be $1.15. I had started working at the studio,
So
and then
like a
people would pay
sign.
me, and I'll get $115, or like I'll see it 1:15 in the afternoon. Like I just see the number all the time. So I looked it up, and it had two meanings. At least on the website I looked. You feel me? I googled it.
I was like, that's my best friend, Google.
But I had googled it, and it meant that you're getting closer to your sense of purpose.
Okay.
But it also means that you could be moving dangerously. So I'll just take it for what it's worth. When I see the
But
number,
that kind of plays into each other because sometimes moving to your sense of purpose, you might have to take a path that might be a little more dangerous than usual. Or
yeah,
damn,
exactly.
Okay, 1115.
So I just, I started seeing it all the time. But then what really solidified it for me, because I never really had it like a part of my artist name or anything. It was just like, I think I named one of my first tapes 115 Degrees, and that's how that started. But the people around me started seeing it. Like a lot of my friends started to see it and they'd tell me like, man, I started seeing that number ever since you brought it up. And I just did an interview a while ago with, my homie Squirrel, and I told him about it. He sent me screenshots. I could even show you. He started seeing the number himself. We went to a listening party together. There's 115 members on the guest list. Like
what? Now, if I do this interview, if I start seeing,
if you start seeing, I'm telling you, you
sending
will.
a message on Instagram. Like, nigga, what you do to my? What spell you don't put on me? That's crazy, but that's dope though. So everybody just been seeing it, and you would see it yourself. So that's how you came up with the name, or was it like just you felt like it was meant to be just because you were seeing it everywhere? Like,
I think it was a little bit of both. That before I used to just go by JAI. And then I started seeing the number so much, I'm like, man, I gotta incorporate it, into what I got going on. So I just threw it into my name.
Got you.
I'm sorry.
Okay, no, do your thing. You ready for the next question now?
Yeah, of course.
All right, so take us back a little bit. What was it like growing up, and any crazy stories from your childhood that shaped you into who you are today?
Yeah, growing up was interesting. So I was born here at Ohio State. Originally, I lived off of Tussing out east.
Okay.
My family ended up moving to the country, like middle of nowhere. It's called it's a little town. Well, we didn't live in the town; we lived outside of it, but it's called Carroll, Ohio. It was a village at the time.
I've heard of Carroll, Ohio, because I'm
Yeah,
from Cleveland. So yeah.
yeah. Well, actually, it's down here. You're thinking of John Carroll.
Mm,
My sister went to college there. Carroll, Ohio is out here by. It's like in between Canal and Lancaster.
okay.
So it's just like the countryest of the country.
Definitely had that
Super
mixed up.
code switch from like what's going on out here. So like I was one of the only, black colored kids at the school. So it was just like it was a lot, You would get some racist jokes here and there, some kids' parents racist and whatnot. But I mean, for the most part, it was cool. I just played a lot of sports. We moved around a lot. I lived in North Carolina for a couple years, and that's where I picked up guitar. So I used to play guitar when I was a little kid.
Okay.
I actually played in the Macy's parade out in Charlotte. And that's when I started getting into music. And then we ended up moving back to Ohio, and it was just pure sports, man. I think football was probably the biggest thing for me in terms of like growing up as an adult. Like that kind of molded me as a person. It was
Right.
like you got to earn your keep in football. You got to be a team member. Uh, you got to just put in the work. That's the one thing like that stuck with me forever through my life was just put in the work, and you're going to get what you need, And it might not be what you want, but you're going to get what you need for sure. So,
But that's facts. And I feel like the more you put in the work, it might not be exactly what you want in the moment, but the more you keep putting in the work, you'll get to where you're trying to be for sure.
exactly.
All right. So next question. Who were your biggest musical influence early on? Anyone you were trying to like not imitate, but or just like sound like when you first started or like inspired you to really start rapping?
Yeah. So, musical influences is such a wide range because
I hate when I get that question.
the reason I say that is because it's like I grew up. Spanish was my first language. My family is Dominican and Haitian, so like
What?
yeah, Spanish is my first language. So I learned English by listening to music. So when I started listening to music, I was listening to Nickelback.
Okay. I love Nickelback. I can't
I won't
hate. I
accept
like
no
Nickelback.
Nickelback slander. I love Nickelback.
Same.
I was listening to Lil Wayne.
Okay.
And then my brother was a huge Kanye fan, and he put me on to Kanye. Like he used to always sing "Can't Tell Me Nothing." He would walk around singing that. And I remember I was a kid, like, man, that sounds cool. And I remember I looked it up. I was like, okay.
They
I wasn't
can't
allowed
tell
to.
me
Can't
nothing.
tell
Oh,
me
that's-
nothing. He used to walk around and just.
Damn Kanye.
So as much as I hate to, I don't even hate. It's controversial, but to be honest with you, like early days, Kanye West, before whatever's happening now, top dog for me. Like,
Absolutely.
I practically molded my career after him. I took the engineering route to start music, and production route, kind of like he did. But like overall, musically influenced when I first started, I would say biggest influences would probably be like Drake, Kid Cudi, and Kanye West, for sure.
Drake, Kid Cudi, and Kanye West. Damn. Okay.
Yeah, so a
I
lot
would
of like
even say
different
that's a
songs.
pretty powerful top three in my opinion, because I
Mhm.
like all of their music. So
Yeah, so I wouldn't even say like they're a top three either. It's just like that's what influenced me at the time. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? So like I still listen to a lot of rock music growing up, and I've started to implement that a little bit more lately. But for real, like in terms of when I started making music, those three had me listening to music like I could do this, and that's kind of at least what got me motivated to start doing it.
and it's crazy because like in the elevator I was talking about Purple Skies.
Mhm.
I feel like with your vibe and even the way you sound, you could rap over anything, even like a nice dope ass country song. You know what I mean? So because I was listening to Purple Skies, I'm like, this is definitely giving me like, of course, hip hop rap vibes, but a little bit of country tones, if you will. It was
Mhm.
definitely a vibe for me for sure. And I love country music, so
Yeah, it was crazy. I used to hate country music, like despise it, especially growing up in like a country town. That's all you ever heard, like country music,
okay, I
country
can
music, country
understand that
music.
part. Yeah.
But to be honest with you, like over the last couple of years, it's grown on me tremendously. Like I listen to country music at the crib. I listen to it. You can ask, Swan when we was on tour, I would play it in the van. And they was like, bro, turn this shit off. Like, nah, man, for sure gotta play it.
Oh my gosh. All right. So, was there any specific moments you realized you wanted to pursue music seriously? Like, when did you decide, like, damn, I could do this for a living? Like, this is who I am or what I need to do?
When I wanted to pursue music seriously, I wasn't even close to thinking like I could make a living off of it. To be honest with you, I just liked it so much. Um, I would say it was 2017, 2018.
Hmm.
Right around the time I built that studio in my homie's crib. I quit my job. I literally went on lunch break and never came back.
If he say he going to get lunch, he ain't
Yeah,
coming
I
back.
ain't
I'm
coming
just
back.
kidding.
If I take that lunch break longer than an hour and a half, I'm
Hell
gone,
nah.
man. But
I mean, it'd be like that sometimes.
yeah, it's just one of those impulsive things. Like I had been dabbling with the music, and I had read somewhere online like if you put in 10,000 hours, you become a master at your craft. So what I had did was I quit my job. I built the studio in my homie's garage, and then I bought like a shirt press. So I would just press like 5, 10 t-shirts a day. I'll grab them from like Joann's or something or
Hmm.
Walmart, press a 115 design on them and like just post them on my Snapchat. Like I got t-shirts for sale, like $15. Just pull up on people, sell them. That's how I make my money for the day. And I'll just record music the rest of the time in the garage.
Yeah, okay,
Uh,
so you really been like doing this by yourself, like, well, not by
yeah.
yourself, I'll say, 'cause I'm sure you have a good team, but
Yeah, but the
starting
team
out,
wasn't
but
always there. At the beginning,
yeah,
it was me by myself. I was YouTubing how to use Pro Tools and like YouTubing how to mix songs. It sounded terrible. I wasn't any good, but like that's how you learn. So I would just be in that garage every night. And that's kind of like the point where I decided like, shit, if it pay me or not, like I'm gonna try it. I
right.
like doing this. So that's kind of when I really fully committed to it, I would say, for sure.
I'm like, but making your own merch and just like selling stuff, that's so dope.
Yeah, it's
Cause
it.
you gotta start somewhere, especially when you by yourself without the team.
Man.
I respect that because I mean, I'm creative, but in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm a cook hands down when it comes to pastries, anything. But as far as like electronics and making clothes or just being creative in that sense, I don't know why I can't catch on to it, but
I mean, everybody has their own like level of creativity. Like,
right?
you know what I mean? I can't paint a picture, but I know a lot of people that can paint a dope ass picture. You know what I mean? But they probably can't make a song. So it's like, shit.
That's
I
very
can't. I
true.
can make a meal to eat. Don't get me wrong, but I can't cook. I'm not no chef. You feel me? So that's something that you got. I could never do that. So I mean, I think everybody's got some kind of artistic ability. It just
And a
varies from
special
person.
skill. Exclusive, y'all heard that. I'm special. We are special. All right, so let's talk about your journey in the rap game. What would you say has been the highlights of your career so far?
There's a lot of them, man.
You can give me a few if you want.
Okay. I would say, man, it's just like looking back at it to me, like what would be dope to me might not matter to a lot of people. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? I would say like the first big thing for me was probably going on tour with, Doobie and Highlight. When they asked me to go on tour, that was like the first big like, oh man, like fuck, like okay, I got a chance to show people what I can do. So like that was to me like the first huge step that like solidified it. I would say the next one would be like the first time it happened on tour, like I got a gift from a fan or a supporter. That blew my mind because it was like, okay, wow, you're giving me this. I'm like, yeah, your music's dope. Like that, little things like that to me
Right.
is like, oh man, this person really like, you know what I mean? But I would say like the one I actually I teared up a little bit when this had happened. We had a show in San Antonio, Texas.
Okay.
And I'm on the stage and like obviously like I think at this time I probably had like 700 maybe 1,000 monthly listeners. So like
Damn.
over the world there's only like 1,000 people actually listening to my song on a monthly
Hmm.
or my music on a monthly basis. And typically at the shows when I would show up it would just be like try to make an impression and gain some new fans, right? Um, we're doing this show though and I'm doing the song No Homies. And I'm rapping the song and I look in the crowd and this guy's rapping it word for word, just pointing at me the whole time.
That's got to be such a great
I'm just
feeling.
sitting here like, what? I'm like, you know the words to this? His wife screams out, he listens to you every day. I started tearing up right there for a minute. I was like, yo, that's crazy. We're in Texas. You know what I mean? Like, I've never even, prior to that, I'd been to Texas one time and I wasn't even doing music at the time. You know what I mean? So for me, like, that was huge. Like, I met him after the show and he was like, man, don't ever stop. Me and my buddies were listening to you all the time. Like, somebody's always watching. And now, anytime I run into a situation like that where somebody knows the words, every time it like makes like my heart sing. I'm like, damn, you actually listen. So I'd say those would probably be the biggest ones. And just anytime I get an interaction with like a new supporter, Like it's my new favorite part of my life. Like
That
it's
is
just
so
like
dope.
it's dope. Honestly, it's like having friends all over the world is how it feels like to me. Like I don't even look at a supporter like a fan or nothing like that. I'll just be like, man, I got a new friend, someone that likes me down here, and you feel me? They seem pretty cool. So yeah, I think it's cool.
And to
Like
know that they relate to your music and like they feel it and like, because music to me is like so therapeutic in a sense.
yeah,
And like that, I would have been crying. Forget
yeah. I'm
almost
an
crying.
emotional dude, bro. Like when some cool things happen or like something just makes me really happy, I tend to cry. But it's like I don't know,
Ain't nothing wrong with crying. Let it out. That's why a lot of y'all out there mad because y'all don't be crying.
just be fake tough.
All right, so the music industry isn't always easy.
Nah.
What's been the biggest challenge you faced so far and how did you overcome it? If
Um.
any.
Yeah, there's always challenges. I think that's 90% of the game is how can you overcome the challenges. I would say initially the biggest challenge I had was how do I get people to listen to my music.
Hmm.
Um, that was like something that I used to get frustrated at the beginning, like, and being an artist, you always think your shit is the best shit ever. You know what I mean? So like, I remember when I was first making music, I'll be putting music out and I'll be in the car with my homies and they had put on like some Future or something. And it's like, all right, that's cool, but I just dropped a song, right? And they'll be like, yeah, bro, we heard it. I'm like, yeah, put it on. Like,
Right, like
like,
let's play
why don't
that.
you want to listen to it? And then, now looking back, it's like, well, it wasn't that good. But either way, like, I think that was like the biggest initial is how do I get people to listen to music? And I think now looking at it through a different perspective, it's more how can I you know, keep my supporting people happy now.
Right.
You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like, yes, I want to grow my fan base and my support base and everything, but what I'm more focused on now is like how can I keep the people who are rocking with me happy? You know what I mean? Like how do I keep showing out for them? So um I think the biggest challenge for me right now is just staying consistent and sticking to the plan. Sometimes like I get so impulsive, I want to start doing different stuff like, this isn't happening or this isn't happening. And I think the most difficult part is just sticking to the plan and sticking to it. Like over the years, there's so many people that were making music. When I
Hmm.
started making music, they're not making music anymore. You know what I mean? And it's like some people stick to it, some people don't. And I think that's the hardest part for anybody is sticking to something and you're the only one that sees the actual big picture,
Right.
A lot of people, even now, like, oh, you still doing your little music thing? Like, to me, it's like, man, I don't even look at it like that. Like, I got a couple people who rock with me. I'm gonna keep feeding them the music,
Hmm.
and I know it's gonna grow from there. So, I mean, that's probably the biggest thing. Is just the biggest, yeah, the biggest. What's it called? What did you call it?
Challenge. Or
Challenge.
yeah.
It's just staying consistent and continuing to feed my fan base. I think.
Is that why
People,
you think a lot of the rappers who you mentioned who started rapping who aren't anymore, not doing anymore because they got discouraged and then keep doing it because they couldn't figure out how to get people to listen to their music or
yeah, it's just like it breaks down into so many things. Like intentions is huge. A lot of
hmm
people I realize were like just making music because they wanted a cash grab, or like because it looked cool. You know what I
and
mean? They
not
didn't
because they
really.
was really passionate about it.
Yeah, so like you can always tell like hardships will weed out the ones who aren't really passionate about something. And I think that's a big reason that a lot of people quit is because they didn't really care about it for them. They wanted it for a specific reason and
Right.
found a way to fill that gap in their life with something else.
Hmm.
Which is okay. I don't think that that's a bad thing by any means. I just feel like it's different for everybody and that's probably a big reason most people quit. Yeah.
Got you. All right. So, what are you currently working on, and can you give us a sneak peek into any upcoming projects or events you got going on?
Yeah, so good couple of things coming up. I actually have a show in Columbus on Saturday, this upcoming
I
Saturday on the
actually yep,
14th
just saw that on your page.
for
Yep.
614 Day.
There's a lot going on this Saturday.
Yeah, there's literally so many events going on, a lot of dope things going on in the city this weekend, plus Pride this weekend too.
Hmm.
So it's about to be popping. But yeah, that's what I have going on this weekend. Then I'm doing Summer of Sins Festival. Um, I don't know if your hip highlights throwing a music festival out in London. It's got like Yellow Wolf, Doobie,
Fucking
Casty.
love Yellow Wolf.
Yeah,
Oh,
like everybody's coming
what?
for that one. That one's gonna be crazy. It's like a camp out festival, so it's like a weekend long thing. They got a campsite, stage. That's gonna be insane.
That sounds really dope, actually.
Yeah, and then actually at the end of this month, I can't even. I'm not even supposed to talk about it. Just at the end of this month, I'm doing something creatively um that I think will shake the tree a little bit.
Got
So
you. And
look,
you'll let us know a little bit more as it gets closer to the
yeah, as
time.
it gets
Okay.
closer to it, I'll definitely put the word out about it. But I've been told to keep this under wraps just so we can make sure it's done correctly and there's no
Okay.
interference. But outside of that, I'm working on another project too. Um, it's gonna be called Exodus, and that's supposed to come out in the fall. So it's gonna be a mix of like I'd say R&B, hip hop, and like a little
What?
bit alternative rock too. But
Okay.
I think this is gonna be like the first fully pieced like creative project where like the visuals all match up with the music and there's a storyline in the project and everything. So this is like the we're trying to level up a little bit this
Got
year,
you. I'm
So
definitely looking forward to it. You said in the fall
yeah, yep, that one's supposed to drop in the fall as long as everything goes as
as
planned.
planned because life be life. And so, you know.
Life.
All right. What do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Any dream collaborations or goals you're chasing or that you would like to pursue or make happen?
Yeah. As to where I see myself in the next 5 years, hopefully just, making music to the point that I can like fully just depend on that to live off of. I think that would be sweet. I don't really care to be like super rich or like, the biggest artist ever.
Hmm.
But if I could definitely, make some money enough to just live off of music and still be able to do it, that would be amazing. Um, Dream collaborations.
That's got to be a tough one.
I would say this band called The Neighborhood.
The neighborhood?
Yeah, I love their music. Um, Big fan of Billie Eilish too. I feel like I could make a dope song with Billie Eilish. I really like her
Not gonna lie, I
music.
feel like that would be dope.
Yeah,
Let
Billie
me
Eilish
text
would
her
be
real
crazy.
quick.
That would be
Yo,
crazy.
Billy.
Yeah.
That would be insane, but I feel like that would be dope.
Yeah.
After like checking out your music, that would be, yeah, I
I
could see
think you
that.
feel me? I think that'd be a sweet
What?
collab. Trying to think who
That's probably a
else.
collab we didn't even know we needed. That's
You know what I mean?
crazy.
I feel like a lot of
That would be
people,
sick. I love Billie Eilish.
most of the artists I would want to work with probably wouldn't even be like rappers or anything. I listen to so much different music.
It sounds like you like to challenge yourself musically.
Yeah, I
Mm,
like to. I like to step out the box. I listen to a lot of different songs too, and genres. I just feel like when you put yourself in a creative box and only listen to one style of music, only
mm.
make one style of music, not only are you limiting like who you're reaching, but I feel like you're just limiting yourself creatively. All music is really the same, it's just delivered differently. So I try to do everything, at least a little bit of it.
Said preach, preach, preach. All right. What's one thing you want your fans to take away from your music?
Hmm. It sucks because I literally had this conversation the other day. I've made so much negative music in my past, and it's not even like I don't know. Like I guess the one thing I think any supporter could take away from my music is that it's okay to be alone. It's okay to be uncomfortable with your situation, and there's always light at the end of the tunnel. I feel like a lot of my songs, a lot of my music it comes from things that I deal with in my life, and it's not
Mm,
always like sunshine. It's typically not sunshine and rainbows. You
right.
know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like as much as people might not know, like I'm a goofy dude. I still like to have fun, and so I feel like if you really pay attention and listen, yeah, through the music you can hear. Sometimes I'm angry. Sometimes I'm sad, but at the end of it, like I'm always making it through. That's the biggest thing. Is like you can make it through anything as long as you just stick to it. So
Mm.
I think like for anyone to take away from my music, any supporter, like whatever you're going through is temporary and it always comes to an end. You always get through it. So that's for sure the biggest takeaway for me, you
Oh
know.
yeah. All
Yeah.
right, all right. Okay. Good answer, good answer. All right, so now we're gonna lighten things up real quick with some quick fire round questions, which are
Oh God.
always fun and light. Everybody's always like, what? But yeah, it's always fun and chill. All right, so if you found a genie in a bottle, what would be the first thing you'd wish for?
10 more wishes.
Tim. That's more. I would never think more wishes. I'm like money, car, house, as everybody always does. But I'm
Yeah.
like 10 more
You
wishes.
give me 10 wishes, I'll get everything I need.
Oh my gosh! All right, if you could make one law everyone had to follow, what would it be?
The one law everybody had to follow?
Mm-hmm. Like a permanent law, like you had to follow it no matter what.
Shit. Leave me alone unless I want to be talked to.
Don't
uh,
talk to me unless I want to talk to you.
yeah, I
So
guess.
you like your space? You're a loner, or would
Yeah,
you
for
say
the
you're?
most part, I'll be in the crib. Like I don't like to sit in crowds. I don't like the club. I don't
That's
like the
so funny
bar.
to me. A lot of people who are musically creative who go to shows and perform and have to deal with a lot of people. They're
Hmm.
usually just like so like they like to keep to themselves a lot, yeah,
Yeah,
and not be out
yeah.
in the
I
noise.
just get
But
socially exhausted, man. Like,
understandable, especially being in the food industry. I get that.
yeah, I'm sure you feel it all the time. Like, I'll get somewhere, I could probably make it for like 30 minutes, an hour, but I'll just be wanting to go home and kick it with my cats, just like play the game or make a song, watch a movie. I like to enjoy my rant.
And be in your own space and zone.
Yeah, I like to be in my own space. I feel like when you put yourself around too many people, you're allowing a lot of different energies around you.
Uh,
And, that whether or
I
not
was
you
just thinking
realize it,
that.
I feel like that plays onto your life and you carry that with you. So I try to protect my space, try to protect my energy, and, be very selective about who I put myself around and who I spend my time with for sure.
Definitely gotta have boundaries too, because my friends be like, you don't go out but twice a week, because I don't want to take on all that energy and be around all those people all the time. So
Yeah.
definitely set boundaries. All right. If you could have any animal as your personal bodyguard, what would it be? Animal wise, hypothetically.
Personal bodyguard. It's like, I know this is fire questions, but I just, the way I think, I have to know, like, do I have full control of this animal?
Of course, yeah, it
Oh, yeah.
protects only you and whoever
Okay.
in your crew or whatever.
Silverback
But
gorilla.
I wouldn't even get close for autograph.
Yeah,
Hell
nobody's getting
no.
close with a
What?
silverback around you.
And I just watched what is it? The show with John Cena. I just Peacemaker, and there was a silverback in one episode, and it beat the fuck out of everybody. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely not. All right, what's the weirdest conspiracy theory you secretly believe?
All right, so I do want to preface with this. I do believe in God. Like, I believe God is real. You feel me? I pray to God. But I believe that humans have the wrong conception of God. And to be honest with
I
you,
agree.
I really feel like what people perceive to be God is aliens. And I really feel like we are like, a very underdeveloped race that's just like controlled by aliens. I feel like we're controlled by aliens. There's a couple conspiracy theories. I'm gonna throw them all on the
I
table while
was
you
saying we
asking
gonna
me.
have to talk about this for
We controlled
sure.
by aliens. The Earth is flat, and we're in a giant Arctic circle. You feel me? We're in a giant Arctic circle. There's a giant wall, and on the other side of that wall, there's trees and other animals. I feel like there's a lot of things, and I feel like the ocean. They line about the ocean. I feel like why have we not explored more than 90% of or more than fucking 20% of the ocean? That don't make
But we can go
sense.
out of space.
Outer space. I have another theory about that too. Ain't nobody been to outer space. Make that make sense to me, bro. Like, they talking about outer space, bro. Like, if that was the case and humans had been to outer space, you don't think that they would have found a way to colonize it by now and like try to make money off of it somehow? Like,
Right.
no, that shit ain't real.
What was the last thing that was just like the biggest talk about outer space when Katy Perry and
Oh yeah, they sent
they were all
sent them to outer space. Like, come
there
on,
were so
bro.
many like theories behind it, like this ain't real, this fake, like why is their hair not actually standing up as people would out of it was a lot behind it, but yeah.
Yeah.
So that's one I would definitely agree with you
I
on
ain't
too.
buying the outer space thing. I feel like there is something out there, but I feel like they're describing it incorrectly. I
I
feel like if
definitely
you make
believe
it
we're not
scary to
alone.
people, they're not gonna try to figure out for themselves. Like, yeah, there's no oxygen out there, there's no light, there's no nothing. Nobody's gonna want to try that. But to me, it's like, shoot.
All right, well, that was my last, excuse me, y'all. Ah, all this damn coffee got me burping. So that was my last quick fire round question. Now we're gonna jump over to what's in the bag to get ready to close out the segment. If you brought any cool pieces with you,
Yeah.
now's the time to show them off and let us know like what they
You wanna
mean to
grab
you
these
or
for
like
me?
why you
They're on the table over here.
actually appreciate these
Thank you,
pieces.
Swan.
before we close it out. But yeah, the ocean part really has me like confused because we haven't explored it all yet, but we could send people to outer space
and
and
we
we have
eat
so
things
much
from it. Like,
advanced
I'm
technology.
scared to
But
eat fish, to be honest with you, because it's like
and then what about these? What are those things called that are center in the middle of the ocean? They're like those metal towers that go all the way down to
the
like,
oil rigs.
yes, I'm like, we can build those, but we haven't explored like
It
all
don't
of
make
the ocean.
sense. A
It's
lot
just
of it don't
crazy.
make sense to me, man. Like, and then they have the weird laws. Like, there's certain parts of the ocean you can't like go to.
And fish, yep.
Not even just the fish. You can't even be
Or
there.
just
Like,
like period.
you can't go close to like Antarctica. You can't go close to there. There's a whole treaty with like different countries. If you get too close to Antarctica, they will either like shoot at you or like seize you, whatever. Like, you can't get too close to it. You can't explore around certain parts. That don't make sense to me.
Y'all heard that here if you didn't know, because I didn't know. And I was just planning a trip to Antarctica. Get my ass locked up. But all right, let's jump into what's in the bag. What you got for us today?
Oh, Spawn, can you pass me that laptop too? I'm sorry, bro. I'll start with this though. Actually, no, I'll start with this. So this is actually the first gift a fan has ever given me, or supporter.
And
Sorry.
that's your camera right there if you want to show it up.
We were in Sioux Falls,
Sioux
I
Falls.
believe. Yeah, I think it's South Dakota. I think is where Sioux Falls is, or that might be Sioux City.
Mm-hmm.
They're right next to each other. We did a show at each city. But we were doing this. We're doing the show, and before my set, she was an artist. She had a table there for merch and stuff, and she was asking me, what kind of birds do you like? And I was like, man, I like ravens and blue jays. She's like, all right, sweet. So I go up there and perform my set. I come back. She had painted this. I think my set was like 10 minutes. She painted this in like 10 minutes.
You're lying.
10, 11 minutes. I swear to God. The craziest thing I've ever seen. I got off the stage and she had it done, ready, and she was like, this is for you.
What?
And I was like, what? Like, yeah, it's a gift for you. It's the first gift of, anybody has ever given me, a supporter at the show. So I think I took this around. We were in a van. I took this around the whole tour with me, like the whole time. Like, I just
So
had, like, I gotta make it home. So yeah, most of my other gifts that were given to me are like hung up at my mom's house. I just take everything over there because I move around too much. But
that is
yeah.
really dope. Shout out to that fan who did that.
Yeah, shout out to her.
10
I wish
minutes?
I wish I knew her name. I have a picture with her though, so I might have to look that up. This is the first laptop I ever started making music with.
Okay.
So it's still got the older Pro Tools and all the plugins and everything on it. The screen doesn't work on it anymore, and I lost the charger. But it's the first laptop I ever started making music with.
So it's like a sentimental piece to you.
Yeah,
Sure.
I just decided I'm never gonna get rid of it because
Honestly, I don't think I would either.
yeah, it's just like, who knows? This might be worth something one day.
Right? You gotta speak it into existence for sure.
These are also gifts from supporters. So there's a group of kids in Athens that listen to my music, and they showed up to my show. Shout out to Kevin and the guys, and they made me this jacket. They all
Are you
have
serious?
they all have a matching one too. And we signed their jackets and everything, but they made
What?
me
That
this
is so dope.
jacket, and they brought it to which show did they bring it to? I don't even remember.
So busy.
It might have been. Oh, they brought it to the Kasky show. I did a show with Kasky at Scully's like 2 years ago, and they had brought it to that one.
Okay.
So I always try to keep that one safe.
Shout out to Scully's. Love Scully's.
Yeah, definitely shout out to Scully. So, and then
That is so dope.
actually that same supporter Kevin, he then came to our show in Dayton on the last tour, and he made pop fungos of me and my roommate, my homie Swan.
Where he actually made them?
Yeah,
Oh,
he
I
got them
forgot you
special
can get-
made.
Yeah,
Yeah.
custom made.
I don't have those ones with me because we signed them and gave them to him, but he made one of himself and then signed it for us. I was like, man, you got to sign it for us.
No way.
Yeah, so you feel me? I have a pop fungo of him, and I
Kevin
just
Smith. That's so
it's my
dope.
dog, man.
I forgot you can do that for yourself or other people.
Yeah. And honestly, I forgot you could even do it. When he told me he did it, I was like, man, what? He even had both my cats on the pop fungo and everything. So I was like, okay, you snap. But
Okay,
yeah.
so it sounds like you're a sentimental guy. You got your first gift that you got from somebody, which is a painting of a raven, which is really dope. Only took 10 minutes. I really wish we could shout her out, but hopefully next interview we'll have that together. And you
Sure.
have gifts from other fans. You seem
Yeah.
pretty well loved and liked by your followers. I hate to say follow. I don't even like to say fans.
I
What would
like
you
to say
call 'em?
supporters. I like to say
Supporters,
supporters. I don't like the word fan. I don't. I know people don't probably look at it this way, but I just
Mhm.
see it as like a demeaning thing. Like, I just want people to understand. Like, I'm a person, you're a person. you support me, you're a supporter, you know, but I don't want you to ever feel like a fan. I feel like calling someone a fan is kind of wrong.
Right.
So I try to even I catch myself doing it, and I try to correct myself always, like supporter. But I just, you know, I don't like people looking at anybody. Like, I don't believe that you should look at any, either celebrity or not. You shouldn't look at nobody as like, oh, hold them on a pedestal. Like,
Right.
we're all human beings. Feel me?
And
I
these
make
people are
music.
how you are what you are today because they're supporting you and been supporting as
Yeah,
far as like celebrities in general. But you know, so
yeah. You can't treat the people that are, you know, essentially paying your bills, you know, through listening to your music and everything. You can't treat them as less than you. So I feel like that's wrong. They supporters. Every time I see them, I just tell them, look, man, they be excited. I'm like, bro, I'm a person. You're a person. I gotta go to work next week. Like, I promise you,
right,
we on the
because
same life path. I promise.
everybody's just trying to make it and do the best they can in life.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's my opinion, but some of y'all be crazy. But let's go ahead and close it out. Let the people know where they can follow you, support you, look
Yeah.
you up, or anything like that, and what you got coming up next.
For sure. For sure. 115 JAI on all platforms. I'm on all DSPs if you like to listen to music. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, on things of that nature. I do have the show this weekend. I probably won't be out by then, I don't think, but I have a show this weekend. If you're there, you're there. But I also have Summer of Sins coming up in August, at the end of August, Summer of Sins Festival. And the Exodus album will be dropping this fall. So be on the lookout for that as well.
I'm so excited for the album in the fall.
Me
Like,
too.
so excited. Just from the little taste of your music I've had doing my research, I'm excited
It's gonna be one of them ones.
for what's to come. But all right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and close it out. Thank you guys so much for tuning in again. Thank you, 1115J. Be
Appreciate
sure
you.
to support him on all platforms. He's amazing. First time meeting him, and we're already about to go on tour together because I got bars. I'm just kidding, I can't rap for shit. But thank you so much for being here and
Thank you
giving
for
us your
having me.
time.
Yep.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the page. And once again, follow my guy, 1115J. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.